Hello, very good morning. Welcome to JS Testing Academy. Welcome to the next part of our series in the types of testing, that is web service testing. So, web service testing plays a very important role in the real time world, right? There are a lot of all these applications now rely on APIs and the web services. Now the current application, leading applications, if you take in across India, all the applications are worldwide, right? Amazon or Flipkart or right, a lot of banks, right? American Bank, right? HSBC Bank, right? All the banks, travel sites, Flipkart, right? Book My Show, Make My Trip. All these applications now rely on API. So testing this is very important nowadays. All the applications should be tested not only in right functional level. It should be tested in right with the API also. Now there are a lot of tools, right? Manual tools and automation tools are in market for testing the API testing. Okay, so now right, let's small understanding between web services and API testing. Okay, so web services, right, is one of right protocol, right, is a way to communicate between the two applications. So it's a medium to communicate the two mediums, right? It is right. There is a small difference, right, between web service and API. Okay, so API is a set of right rules or a tools to build a software application. So with the API, we build an software application and tools. Now all this, right, we put an intermediate layer between a client and a server, right? So that web API is an intermediate, acts as intermediate between client and server. Okay, it restricts something and shows something to the client so that everything is not access. But web services is a part of API. Okay, in broader way, we tell it as an API, but in a simple right, in a simple services, right, we call it as a web service. Okay, so the web services, right, uses right XML right services to message transfer data between one application to another application, right? It uses right XML services, whereas in API it uses right JSON, right, other JSON, XML, other services it uses, whereas in the API testing. So API is it's in the broader perspective, whereas to build an application or to transfer data, API uses some web services like SOAP web services. Okay, there are some RESTful APIs, right, which uses the services. Okay, for example, right, there is one e-commerce site, right, we use an API to interact with the right server. Okay, API uses right, the API uses to add a cart to shipment payment gateway. Okay, so we use this API to create right or interact with right to adding a card, searching some right products, and to right interact. Okay, so this right API is plays a very important role, right, in all the applications. Okay, now if you see, right, the client, right, uses RESTful web services to interact with the right web services. It gives an HTTP request to the web services, and it interacts with the database, gets the data, and responds with the JSON or XML to the client, either to mobile or to a web. So this is a normal process how the client is interacting with the web services through the HTTP request. So it uses some protocols. All the RESTful right APIs uses some standard protocols to communicate with the right web services on the database. Okay, there are a lot of protocols, HTTP and HTTPS protocol to communicate right with the services. Okay, now right, if you see, right, normally the client requests for the web server and the web server responds to the client. This is what, right, it happens. It requests to the web server and it responds to the client. Okay, if you see, right, when the client requests, it requests through an endpoint. So the endpoint, right, is divided into HTTPS, the protocol, the host, that is a base URI, and next one is a resource. So it is categorized into three, and it hits the web server and it responds. Okay, it responds on HTML, XML, or through a JSON. So this is how the client is interacting with the web server. We need an endpoint, right? Endpoint, it can be categorized into three, as I told you, right? A protocol, the host, and the resource. Okay, so next one is, right. Okay, so this is a SOAP services, right? The client uses SOAP request message, as I told you, right? Simple object access protocol, right? It uses the XML format to go to the database, fetch the data, and it responds with the help of the SOAP response message, and this will the data will be carried using the XML format. Okay, so there will be SOAP services and also the RESTful services which needs to be tested, right, in the real time applications. So you write based on applications, we go either for a SOAP services or the RESTful APIs now, but nowadays all the applications are all the RESTful APIs. Okay, representational state transfer, that is the abbreviation of REST. Okay, what is the difference between SOAP and REST is, right? SOAP is, right, it's very more complex, whereas REST is lightweighted, flexible, fast, right, and it can be easily accessed. So REST, right, is more lightweighted when compared to SOAP. REST uses JSON, JavaScript object notation for carrying the data, right? Next one is, there are a lot of web service automation testing tool. One is the SOAP, next one is Postman, JMeter, and Catalan. So we can use lot of, right, automation testing tools. There is another common tool, REST should also, right, in your testing. We can use REST assured for Java, right? REST sharp for C sharp, and REST, right, for Python also we can use it. Okay, so there are a lot of tools in market where we can test, right. We can create a framework, right. We can use all the lot of other frameworks like TestNG, BDD, and other frameworks, right. We can create a regression shoots in the environment where the all the APIs can be tested. For example, adding a cart, viewing cart, searching a product, right. Then checking all the, right, products price list, then ordering list, right. So all these things can be, right, maintained, all these APIs can be maintained in the regression shoot, and it can be tested in real time world. They are going to maintain a regression pack, so that before the end of the every release, the regression pack is going to get executed. So it can be tested either in manual, or it can be tested either in automation also. Okay, now the REST API testing, how it works, right? It uses four methods. One is a get, post, put, and delete. So it uses four methods for retesting the RESTful APIs. For example, get method is used to retrieve a resource. Post method is used to create a resource. Put method is used to update a resource. Delete method is used to delete a resource. So it uses all these four HTTP methods, right, to check an endpoint, right. If you hit this, right, all these four methods in the server, how it responds, what are the different, right, results or status code it comes. 200 okay, 201 created, and 302, right, found, right, and 400 bad requests, 404 not found, or 500 internal server error. There are 1x series errors, 2x series errors, 3x series errors and 4x series errors and 5x series errors. So based on the error, we judge what is the problem. You troubleshoot, right? What is the problem you have? So we check all this the endpoints, right? As I told you, protocol, the host, and the resource. So with that, we check this, right? The server how it's responding. With the API, we can do functional testing, as I told you, adding a card, viewing card, right? We can do performance testing, like 1,000 API sitting. What happens, right? We can check the security vulnerabilities by right doing an SQL injection, right into the post call and see whether it's accepting any vulnerabilities or not. We can check the complaint standards also with the help of this right APIs. So there are a lot of testings, right, we can do with the help of this API. Okay, as I told you, we can use right rest assured library, right, for testing the right services also. Okay, so there is a library rest assured Java based library where we can test an API, right, with the help of this, right, we can create a framework, right, we can check all these four methods, right, and do different validations, different response time, response header, content header, right, all these validations, body response body, right, request body, right, all these things validations can be done with the help of this rest assured library. Okay, so most of the companies they offer rest assured for testing, right, the restful APIs. Okay, next one is this screen. We can also use Catalan also. So this picture tells about the Catalan Studio. There is one common tool. Is currently very trending tool in the market, right? Where we use Catalan Studio for testing in APIs also. Okay. So in Catalan Studio, right, we create a project, right? Then after that, what we'll do is, right, we create test cases, right, we create test cases, different test cases and test steps, and we have an object repository where, as I told you, we have an endpoint where you have the URL, the headers, the request body, and the authentication, right, and the postman, right, we use bearer token, OAuth, right, and lot of other authorization and authentications. All these things will be kept in the object repository, and the verification point what you are going to check, right. So all these things will be kept in object repository and it will be called to the test step while executing. This we do in Catalan Studio, and all these test cases are added and converted to an test shoot, and it will be run as a collection in Postman, right. We use run as a collection, we integrate into right CI/CD pipeline, and we do same thing we can do with Catalan Studio also. All these test cases, right, will be executed in rest I should, if there are some 80 or 90 test cases, it will be converted into testng or testng XML file into a shoot, and it will be right triggered in a pipeline and it will be executed. Okay, so this is how we can test the web services. So web services plays a very important role in the market, web services and API testing. So as I told you, all the leading applications now reside on right APIs. Okay, so as I told you, API is used to right create, it's a tool or it is software application, it is used to build an application, right. All the right real time modern based applications are all created with the help of this RESTful API. Okay, representational state transfer. Okay, so hope this video is useful for you. Thanks for watching this video. Continue to follow the series. We'll meet you soon in the next part of video. Have a nice day. Bye.